Hello friends, welcome back to a brand new video. Today I'm back here in Genshin Impact because we're going to be doing a fun little challenge with Yanfei. And that challenge is Tank Yanfei, also known as Tankfei. Now if you don't know what Tankfei is, it's basically where you just build Yanfei as an impressive, massive shield unit. Because at C6, I'm pretty sure, she has a shield that when activated, when you use her Q, it absorbs damage based off 45% of her max HP, and some people have actually done this and made it really good. One of them would be SevyPlays. I saw their video on YouTube and it immediately inspired me because I, for one, use Yanfei all the time, and she is C6 and level 90, so this video is inspired by them on YouTube, so make sure you go check out their video as well. But now, let's get into this interesting challenge. Now, regularly, my DPS Yanfei ratio is really good. I'm really happy with it, 79 to 176. She is running Lost Prayer and 4-piece Crimson Witch set, as you can see, C6, and talents are 8, 11, 10. Oh yeah, and the shield thing is not C6, it is C4. I'm stupid, I don't remember things. But we are going to be changing her build, so hopefully that 15k can go up at least double, maybe, I don't know. I'm going to be using 4-piece Tenacity for this because my Zhongli is running 4-piece Tenacity and he is the shield unit as well, so it's basically just going to be switching their artifacts around, and then we can see how much HP she has after that. And for her weapon, she's going to be using the HP Catalyst that I have, which is Prototype Amber. I know this is used for healing, but that actually might be pretty convenient because her shield does come from her burst, so she could also be like a healer slash shielder at the same time. I'm not really sure. Kind of giving like Noelle vibes, but like not really. Let's switch these artifacts and see what her HP is after that. Alright, she does have considerably more HP than she did before. As you can see, it's plus 22,000. And with the 37% boost from the Prototype Amber, which brings her up to 36,000 HP. I did say I wanted roughly double, and I did get what I asked for. There is an additional 6,000 to that as well, which is amazing. As you can see with the scaling of the shield, it says it absorbs 45% of her max HP, and it absorbs pyro damage 250% more effectively. Now, if we did the actual math for that, we would find out that 45% of 36,829 is 16,573, which means that her shield can take 16,573 hits worth of damage. This number is nearly doubled because it absorbs pyro damage 250% more effectively. Now, when it comes to this build, if you were actually going to seriously use this in a real team comp and use her as an actual shielder, you'd probably also want to give her some energy recharge, so you could do that in the form of a weapon, you could do it in the form of 2-piece Tenacity, 2-piece Emblem with an HP Sands. This build is basically limitless, you can do anything. Yanfei is so versatile, and I think that is absolutely fantastic, which is the reason why I've been maining her for the last, 2 months maybe. I love her character so much. Now for this test, Yanfei is essentially going to be acting as our Zhongli, so it's going to be a DPS team for another character, so let's pick a character. Now I am thinking about doing Ganyu, because Cryo is basically the opposite of Pyro, and we could just do that, and my Ganyu can do some insane melt damage. She's done 168k before with charge attack, so maybe we can do a DPS Yanfei comp. So for that, I'm going to bring Benny, of course, who doesn't love Benny, and I'm also going to bring Mona. Now for the test, I did want to fight something that, number one, doesn't go down, so it keeps attacking, but that also does pyro damage, but that was nearly impossible to actually find.
I didn't realize how dumb I just sounded until editing.
So I think what I've decided that I'm going to do is just fight the Primo Geoviscia, because it doesn't really go down, but it also doesn't really move that much, so it's not going to be too difficult. And with this, we can also see how well it counters the shield, or how much damage it does to Yanfei's shield when the counter phase is on. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but... While I was out getting bursts, I realized that Yanfei needs a lot of energy recharge, because her burst did not come back quickly at all. So if you're doing this in a real scenario, please have 2-piece Emblem on, because, Yeah, I am sacrificing energy recharge for shield tank ability, but I don't recommend doing that, because this is just a test, so... Afterwards, we can just try Yanfei by herself, not so much in a DPS setting, so let's just do this. Okay, 30k, it's time for the counter. It stood the counter. And we're doing 38k, because it's not melt reactions. Oh, it got hit. Okay. The shield broke. I'm not sure how many hits it took, but I'm not going to count it. Obviously, DPS Ganyu did because it was a melt reaction, but now let's go just to the Pyro Hypostasis or the Pyro Regis-Fine and just take straight Pyro attacks and see how much damage we can hold. Okay, so for the individual Yanfei test, I'm going to have Yanfei, Yelan, and Kokomi. Kokomi and Yelan are only there because I want Hydro Resonance, which increases max HP. So her HP is going to be a lot higher, which means she'll be able to absorb more damage. Okay, for some reason, the Resonance worked if I put a third Hydro character in there for some reason. Even though I already had two, which was weird. But her max HP is now 39,000, so 49% of 39,000 and 167 is whatever number appears beside Yanfei's head, because I don't feel like counting right now. But anyways, let's activate this shield and then see how much damage it takes. So for this comparison, what I decided to do was do a damage approximation. So basically I calculated how much damage the Pyro Hypostasis did on each hit that it does. So I did one for the bull, the attack after that, the butterflies, punches, etc. And so I'm going to be taking that into account when comparing the shield with Zhongli's shield. So here are the amount of damages that each hit does. Bonk. It missed me. Butterflies. It took the butterflies. Get closer over here. Oh, okay, good. Do it. A. Okay, I think it ran out. I'm not sure, but that was pretty good. Now I'm gonna do it with Zhongli, but one thing is that I do know is that his shield lasts longer than Yanfei's. As you can see here, it's 20 seconds instead of 15 seconds. So what I'm doing is I'm just basically chopping off 5 seconds of his shield duration, and we're starting it once it hits 5 seconds, so that it's more of a fair test. But anyways, let's put the Tenacity artifacts back on Zhongli, and then see how they compare, or if they compare at all. I know that Zhongli, as you can see here, has much more base HP than Yanfei does, because here you can see he starts with 14,695, whereas Yanfei starts with 9,000. I don't know why that is. It could be because she's a 4-star and he's a 5-star. It could be that Zhongli has HP scaling somewhere in his ascension. I don't remember. Also, his weapon is level 90, and hers is level 80, but I don't really think that could change too much. But let's switch them out and then do a comparison. I know that you're all thinking that Zhongli is obviously going to be better, and I know he probably is, but I still think it's worth a shot because there are a lot of people who are free to play and don't have access to Zhongli, and some shield users like Noelle and Layla sometimes don't cut it, so who knows if this, or maybe Yanfei will be the next best shield user. But anyways, let's test it against the Pyro Hypostasis again. Okay, let's hit the road. Oh, doing different attack this time. One hit. It's taking a very long time. 2 hits. I don't know if it's been 15 seconds yet.
Since the boss did different attacks, it is more difficult to evaluate whether or not his shield is better. Let's try to do this a different way. Yanfei's base absorption is 45%, but it is 250% more effective when attacked by Pyro. Since 45% of her base health with Hydro Resonance was 17,625, if we add 250% to that, granted that's how it works, that would bring it up to 61,687. Now, I could be wrong with this, so take what I say next with a grain of salt. 61,687 is a ton of shield strength, which could make her very viable. However, the only drawback is the shield duration. If it was longer, I think she would be way more powerful. Let's now talk about Zhongli. Since Zhongli's total health with Hydro Resonance was 59,277 and his shield absorbs 23% of his health at talent level 10 plus an additional 2,712 health, this brings his total shield strength up to 16,345. If you were paying attention, you would notice that Yanfei's shield strength excluding the 250% pyro bonus is actually more than Zhongli's. That being said though, I could be calculating this 100% wrong, so if you know more than I do, please enlighten me in the comments. Anyway, enough yapping, back to the actual video.
Alright friends, that is it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, do make sure to let me know by leaving a like and also subscribing if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on any new content that I upload. I think today's test was pretty successful. They both managed to absorb a lot of damage. You know, if you're a free-to-play player and you don't have Zhongli, Yanfei can be a very good secondary character to use, so can Noelle and all these other characters too. Let me know in the comments down below if you're a Yanfei main, if you use Yanfei, or even if you use Tankfei like I just did. And another thing I do want to say is thank you for 10,000 subscribers. I am doing a Q&A in my community tab, so please respond there with any questions that you have for me. I've gotten no questions so far, so it would be very helpful if you gave me a few. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, friends!